everybody, welcome back to Masonic Curators, the show where we preserve history through telling the stories of the items that we showcase. This week is more of a story, rather. The item, of course, is this. You might not know what this is, and I'll explain it a little bit. So, a few years ago, I guess it would have been maybe 5 or 6 years ago. No, 2014 to be exact. I traveled down to Nashville, Tennessee to visit Doric Lodge, where they had played host to me to come down and give a talk on colonial Freemasonry, which was a really fun time, and they had some great brothers present, and I met some of the best brothers I have ever had the company, or the privilege to sit in company with, rather. And we hung out, we did this presentation, and I'd never been to Tennessee before, let alone Nashville, and it was an incredible experience, and I really, really enjoyed it. I got to make that trip with a longtime friend and brother Brian Shimian, who for a long time was a regular contributor to the Midnight Freemasons blog. And we drove down, and Brian had this really awesome red truck, and I just remember driving all day, and I think we stayed awake pretty much the entire time, eating chocolate-covered espresso beans, drinking coffee, just rot gut coffee, and we had a great time getting down there. And I just remember, you know, we got in our hotel room, we got dressed, and we went out, and I did this presentation, and Brother Brian, you know, has been the best traveling companion at the time we had gone down, and it was the coolest thing. And what is in this actual frame is a receipt to the Patterson House. Our bill was $72, and it was for 6 drinks at a place called the Patterson House, which is at 1711 Division Street in Nashville, Tennessee. It is a prohibition style pub slash just a cocktail bar. Everything's made in house. It was a really cool place to go. And I got home and I pulled this receipt out of my pocket, and I always wanted to remember that trip. It was just such a great trip. Brother Brian and I, you know, the radio didn't come on once, which was just the coolest thing. I had this old Masonic card stock, actually, and I just threw it in my mat machine, and I cut the mat, and I mat and framed a receipt. And it sits on top of my bookshelf here, and I'm reminded of that trip all the time. You know, we talk about fellowship and brotherly love, and just the great conversations we had. And I actually went back to the Patterson House twice while I was there. Once was with the Worshipful Master and Brian of Doric Lodge, and the second time we went back we went there after the presentation for a couple rounds, and it was amazing. So really cool. If you're ever down in Nashville, Tennessee, stop on by the Patterson House and say hi to the brothers of Doric Lodge. If Worshipful Brother Al Frazier is there, tell him hi from Robert Johnson on the Whence Came You podcast, or on this show. And that's it. So we'll talk to you guys all again real soon. Thanks for joining us on Masonic Curators.